Good evening, everyone, and happy Tuesday to you on this Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. We have some winter weather to talk about that could potentially be impacting our region this weekend. It's looking increasingly likely that we will see some form of winter weather, whether that be primarily snow. I think it'll probably be what we see in the area with some ice much further to our south, looking to stay out of the area, which is a good sign. Let's dive right in. Let's get to talking about it, shall we? First up on your screen is the European model. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you two different scenarios of how this weekend could play out. Neither of them are going to be 100% accurate, but these are kind of the two ends of the forecast modeling suite right now. First up is the European model, and what I want to draw your attention to, we'll pick this up here this evening on January 20th as we go through the day tomorrow. Maybe a little bit of rain to our south and some snow off to the north. Nothing really impacting us here, though, in the heart of the region. Pay attention to this low pressure out here in the Four Corners region. That's going to be our developing storm system. And notice the moisture. You see a little bit of moisture up here. The moisture that will eventually come together for this storm system won't really get on shore until about Thursday into Thursday night. What that basically means is our upper air networks, our weather balloons, and all of our weather instruments won't be able to fully sample the moisture and sample the instability until about Thursday into Thursday evening. So really we won't know what exactly the storm system is going to look like until about Thursday. After that point, we'll be able to nail down a little bit better on the timing and a little bit better on the accumulations and who's going to see snow and who will go without snow in this storm system. So anybody that can tell you they know exactly how much snow you're going to get is dead wrong right now. Whether it is me or whether it is someone else you read on Facebook, no one has any idea right now what we'll see. Some people can have a good idea, and that's what I'm going to show you here in a second, but there is no 100% set in stone. Here's what we're going to see. So just be aware of that as you look at snowfall maps here, both in this video and later on Facebook. Take things with a grain of salt. So we'll keep going with the European here. This is now Friday morning. The storm is starting to come together as we go throughout the day on Friday. Sets up as a pretty good snowmaker in Kansas and northern Oklahoma. Big ice storm, big time ice storm in Texas, into Louisiana and Arkansas, into Mississippi and Alabama. Snow starts to move in here. This is now 3 p.m. on Saturday, January 24th. We see some snow starting to work its way in. That snow will stick around through the morning on Sunday into about Sunday midday, according to the European model. And then it gets pushed out of here really by dusk Sunday evening. This is 6 p.m. on Sunday. The snow's pretty well out of our neck of the woods. That's one end of the spectrum. Here's the other one. This is the GFS. The only thing that the models really have in good agreement right now is the energy for the storm won't come on shore until about Thursday. So that I can tell you with pretty good certainty we won't know much until then. Past that point, though, we do see on the GFS another big-time ice storm for Texas and Louisiana and Arkansas, all those places once again. But notice the snow band stays much further to our south in places like Tennessee and southern Kentucky, to where we don't see much of any snow in our neck of the woods, according to the GFS. And here by 6 p.m. on Sunday, once again, snow's well out of our neck of the woods, and we don't see anything. What's really driving that is the placement of a high-pressure ridge that will come down out of Canada and kind of set up shop. The exact placement of where it sets up shop will largely impact how much precipitation we see accumulate over this weekend. So here's the GFS. I want to show you this one first. The high-pressure ridge sets up around the Quad Cities area into portions of northern Illinois. That pushes this storm much further south and keeps the snow band over places like Tennessee and southern Kentucky. We look ahead now to the European model. These are all, by the way, for Saturday around lunchtime. So the GFS has it much further south over the Quad Cities area. The European model has it much further north in places like northern Wisconsin into far eastern Minnesota. That lets the snow advance a little bit further north. One more for you. This is the Canadian model, and notice it also keeps the high pressure ridge further to the north, a little bit back west into northern Iowa into southern Minnesota, but you kind of get the general picture. Here's all of them side by side now. And notice again, there's the GFS way off into, way south into the Quad Cities area. The European keeps it further to the north in Wisconsin, and the Canadian keeps it a little bit back further to the north and to the west into Iowa and to Minnesota. So basically, what does that tell us? The models have been trending more towards this European-Canadian solution, where the high-pressure ridge stays a little bit further off to the north and doesn't strengthen quite as much, allowing the snow to creep up a little bit further to the north. Won't say the GFS is completely wrong yet, but if we're looking at the grand scale and all of the model data, the GFS is the outlier at this point. And what that does for snowfall totals, I'll show you this. And again, these are showing you areas of higher intensity and areas of lower intensity. We're not really worried about snowfall totals yet. Those will come here towards the end of this week, but a large swath of some really high intensity snow further to our south into Tennessee and southern Kentucky, according to the GFS. And notice it keeps us pretty well dry. Maybe just a dusting to, definitely less than an inch in our neck of the woods. We flip over now to the European model, and this shows a much broader swath of some moderate to heavy snowfall as far north as central Illinois, getting into portions of northern Illinois, with that heaviest band centered into Kentucky or just a little bit further north into far southern Indiana. The Canadian paints a similar picture to the European, but not quite as intense, we could say. Again, still a heavy band into central Illinois, lighter snow off further to the north, but we do see, a fairly moderate to heavy band of snow in our neck of the woods. Again, all of that will be determined by where this high pressure sets up and how much dry air it can also bring into this. So again, snowfall totals, we're not worried about those yet, but you can see areas of higher impact and areas of lower impact. Something else to talk about when we talk about impacts, the National Weather Service has this really neat tool that they've developed over the last couple of years called the Winter Storm Severity Index. And this just kind of helps illustrate the potential winter impacts for any given area. So this is showing minor impacts for this is showing the probability, rather, of minor impacts. And if we look on the chart, minor impacts, expect a few inconveniences to daily life. Winter driving conditions, use caution while driving. This first map is for 2 a.m. Sunday morning. And notice it's got everyone along Route 50 and points south in the 60 to 70% impact zone of at least some minor impacts. Same thing as we advance it to 8 a.m. on Sunday morning as we're heading out to church services. Everyone along and south of I-70 is in that 60 to 70% chance of at least minor impacts from this winter storm system. Similar as we go through the day on Sunday, this is 2 p.m. Again, those minor winter impacts, 60 to 70% across the region. Excuse me. And that sticks around as we go through 8 p.m. on Sunday and 2 a.m. into Monday morning. So it doesn't really slack off again until about 8 a.m. Monday morning when we're down south of 50%. So again, these are all minor impacts, winter driving conditions possible. Use a little extra caution. If we backtrack now to the same time on, let's see, here is Sunday, this is the overnight into Sunday, and if we flip to moderate impacts, this is now, set this up here, this is 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Again, for moderate impacts, we do see the 20 to 30% chance generally across the area, a little bit higher amounts as you go further to the south. Once 8 a.m. rolls around, more of those 40 to 50 percentile chances started creeping up closer to that I-7 or US 50 corridor. I-70 corridor is still in the 20 to 30% chance of moderate impacts. As we go throughout the rest of your Sunday, 2 p.m. on Sunday, again, those 40 to 50% chance of moderate impacts along and south of Route 50. That continues through the overnight hours on Sunday before they start to taper off on Monday morning. And those moderate impacts: expect disruptions to daily life, hazardous driving conditions, use extra caution while driving, and closures and disruptions to infrastructure may occur. So that kind of paints you the picture on what the National Weather Service sees as potential impacts. Again, just to kind of summarize here, what we know the timing will be sometime Saturday into Sunday. We know there are heavy accumulations likely for somewhere in the region. Now, the region could be all the way from Nashville, if we're looking at the GFS model, up to, say, Paducah, Kentucky, over to Evansville. For some of the other models, the European and the Canadian, we could see some heavy to moderate to heavy impacts, but we just don't know the exact placement yet. And again, what we don't know exact accumulations for our neck of the woods, and we don't know the exact track of the low and the track of the high, both of which will make a significant impact on our weather conditions this weekend. One thing that has absolutely nothing to do with the track of the low is the cold temperatures that we will see after this as we wrap up this video. These are forecast air temperatures. These aren't wind chill temperatures. These are air temperatures for lunchtime on Monday, a week from yesterday, Monday the 26th. Notice a large swath of the country in significantly below average temperatures. And we take a little bit closer look at home. Let's see, this is, let me back this up here. This is, again, lunchtime on Monday, the 26th, air temperatures in the single digits across the region with wind chill values. If we flip this over to wind chill values, definitely below zero across the area. And this is Monday at lunchtime. We're not even to the coldest part yet. Tuesday at lunchtime, or Tuesday, now we flip to the evening hours. Tuesday, right around sunset, we're in the mid-20s, and this is the warmest we're probably going to see the rest of next week. By Thursday, let's see, this is, that was Tuesday evening. Wednesday evening now, we are again in the single digits for your afternoon high temperatures. And Friday, once again, maybe we see double digits into the 10 to 12 range. But you get the picture. It will be downright chilly outside next week. So make sure you bundle up and be prepared for that cold snap as we move into this. Bottom line, whatever we see fall over the weekend will be sticking around for a while, as these colder temperatures are here to stay, at least through the next week as we begin the month of February. So again, just to recap, what we know and what we don't know. We know the timing, roughly, and we know there will be some heavy accumulations somewhere, whether that's further to our south in Tennessee and Kentucky, or in our neck of the woods. We're not exactly sure yet, and we don't know the exact track of this high pressure. That's going to make all the difference as we move into this winter storm. Look for updates as we go throughout the week. Again, we'll have a better handle on the storm system come Thursday, so look for another update Thursday into Friday morning. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you follow the page for the continued weather updates, and of course check in every morning around 7 a.m. for my out the door forecast. Have a great evening.